Hey, welcome back to the shop. This is Zach over at NV Woodworks. Time for the challenge tree. So, I got my branch. This was actually just sitting in front of the shop on the pavement. So, I decided I wanted to pick this thing up and see what I could make out of it. And what I've come up with, it's kind of a silly project, but it's something that I've kind of wanted to do for a while. I'm departing from casting. There's not going to be casting in this video per se, but what I'm going to be doing is I want to make a lumber crayon. So for cutting up rough wood, a lot of times you'll grab, just like a carpenter's pencil or something kind of where you can just mark it. I want to do that using a crayon basically, but I want to make a cool lumber marking, kind of thing. So I'm just going to roll through this. I don't have a clue if this is going to even work. But what I decided I would do is I'm just going to take a section of this guy and, cross cut it or cut it off, and then I'm going to drill out the center, just make a hole, and then I'm just going to melt some crayons and pour it in there, and hopefully it'll work. I don't know if this is going to work, but I have seen these types of things. I've seen like pencils where people just take a branch and somehow get lead in there and it looks great. So I'm going to try that with crayons. So I hope it'll be kind of fun. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to get started over at the bench, I guess. It's a little bit different than my normal videos. So I got my branches filled with crayon. They're about 3/4 full or so. I ran out of crayon, so we're gonna have to deal with that. But what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna hack it off and kind of shape this into a point so that I can, write with it, hopefully. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna use a Japanese pull saw, just kind of one of those razor saws to kind of put some shape into it. Then I'm gonna finish it up with a Stanley knife like I would with a carpenter's pencil. And we'll see if this crayon works. All right, so far so good. I have some crayons. Let's give them a whirl. So I usually use something like this. I usually use like a carpenter's pencil or something for rough cutting, marking up rough lumber. So, you take your crayon. Let's see if this sucker works. Let's say I wanted to make a cut every foot. Perfect. Works pretty good. Well, all right, my lumber crayon worked. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be using this thing when I'm rough cutting stuff and marking up lumber. A couple of thoughts that I have. Next time, if I was going to do this, I would just use the regular size crayons. One thing is I think they sell packs of the same color. That would have been smarter, but I couldn't find any of those. So I bought jumbo. The problem was I had to cut them up because I didn't want a huge hole. So next time, I'm going to use the normal size crayons. This is probably about the right size hole, and you can just shove the whole crayon in there. Then melt it and you're good to go. So that would be a lot easier, I think, but so far it worked. So I might, kind of clean this thing up or whatever, but I'm definitely going to be using these things. I had a good time making it. Thank you to Dominic for setting up the challenge tree. I always love this one. I kind of use this to just do crazy stuff that I've wanted to try out, or whatever, just totally have fun with it. And I have fun. I had fun last year, and I had a blast making this stuff this year. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. You can email me at zach@nvwoodworks.com. I'm out there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can kind of keep up with me on a more daily, weekly basis over there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.